Well, it's a good job I didn't go and ask for a Lazio, isn't it, really? It actually looks like he's gone to the barber's with a picture of my hair before I had it cut and asked for a Kev. We're destined to have a long and happy career together, me and Lazio. Hello and welcome to Season 11, Episode 8 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and this isn't the FA Cup final today. We're back in the league. FA Cup final tomorrow. Special episode. Going to be awesome. Lazio is the Premier League Player of the Month, though. That's how I noticed that he's grown his hair out remarkably quickly. We've got two important games to play. Chelsea have won the league, by the way. That's who we're playing in the FA Cup final. They also won the Capital One Cup. I assume they're going to win the Champions League as well. They're ridiculous at the moment. Have they got a Champions League final in their future? Oh, they haven't. They've been knocked out of that. Who knocked them out? Milan knocked them out. How did they do it? Defending. That's not going to work for us, is it? But they've won everything else. They're ridiculous. If we actually have a look at the Premier League top goal scorers, they have two of the top three with over 60 goals between them this season. We have someone in that list. How do we look at that? Why isn't it letting me see the goals? Normally I can click there and it shows me the goals. Oh, player stats. I don't click there at all. I'm a liar. So Modou Fall is equal fourth on the list. Lazio's down here somewhere probably as well. We have got Kyle Walker-Peters, second place for yellow cards though. So, we're almost up there with Chelsea. But enough about Chelsea today. We've got the league to worry about because we've got two games left. And we want to secure our Europe. We've already secured our European spot through the FA Cup final, I guess. But we want to finish as high as we possibly can. We've got Spurs breathing down our neck for 7th place. But quite interestingly, we play Everton on the last game of the season, who are currently 5 points above us. But depending on how results in today's game go, obviously we could go into that last game of the season against Everton with the opportunity to beat them and go above them, which 6th place finish would be amazing, especially because there was a news report last week, or midweek, that Man United are on the verge of sacking their manager. They're not even going to get in the Champions League. I'm thinking if we finish a place below Man United and somehow go and beat Chelsea and win the FA Cup, how can they not give me that job then? And that would be awesome. I'd like to go and manage Man United. So, let's get into the first of today's games, which is, who is it against? QPR. We should be able to beat QPR. We know how to beat QPR. So this is the team that we're playing. I think we're pretty much unchanged. Well, we are completely unchanged from the FA Cup semi-final. Wide break, a system that is clearly working. Fall, how close is he to fitness? Fritscher, I'm thinking FA Cup final now. Fritscher, 2 weeks. He might be ready. Where's Chris? Why have I got all the kids on here as well? Let's just narrow this down to actual people who might play a game for us. Chris is... Oh, he's out for 3 months. He's done for the season. He's had a really disappointing season with injuries. He was actually starting to look half decent. He speaks fluent English now, but has only managed 12 games this season because of a couple of long-term injuries. But Modou Fall, he is going to be back in a week. You might even see him in the next game, although I'll probably save him. So both him and Fritscher could be back for the FA Cup final. But for now, it's all about beating QPR today, hoping Everton lose, and then going and beating Everton, and then we've got 6th place sorted. 6th place in the FA Cup final, no matter what happens against Chelsea, and I fully acknowledge the fact they will beat us. We don't really stand a chance. But, 6th or 7th place finish with the FA Cup final is about as good as you could ever expect out of Ipswich, surely. Surely that's going to be worthy of a big job this summer. Right, what's happening in this game? Zabala with a good headed clearance. Zabala is... I'd kind of made up my mind to get rid of him because of his transfer deadline day nonsense, but he's been playing incredibly well these last few games with some really good last-ditch clearances, defensive headers. He's exhausted again, but he's working so hard. There he is again in the air, winning the ball. Walker-Peters now finds Vaughan, whose injury he's obviously recovered from. Thomas is through. Thomas hasn't scored for ages, and it's starting to get frustrating. He's clearly not the answer, even as a backup striker. I am starting to lean towards bringing in Oscar Sanchez permanently. If we can get him from Real Madrid, I might even let Thomas go and keep Ambrose. Lazio has just got his 15th goal of the season. We're 1-0 up. What does that do? How are Everton doing? Everton can't be winning because we're only 2 points behind them now. We should really have the Everton game. This is where we need the little, what's it called? Picture-in-picture with the Everton game going on as well. We care about that almost as much as we care about this game. Obviously, we want form going into the cup final, but also we want to finish as high as we can. Where's latest scores? That's what we want. And we'll go away, and we'll put that. We'll keep it there. No, we don't want the formation. The formation can get covered up. Good job there's no highlights, because I'm fiddling with this. Where are Everton? I don't even know who they're playing. Are they even playing today? It doesn't appear that Everton are playing today. They must be playing tomorrow. We'll get rid of that. What a waste of time. I'm glad I spent 20 seconds of the video doing that. That was really worth it. Zabala with another 2 great interceptions. Zabala is playing like a man possessed. How has he got less than 7 on his rating? Glacio with a fantastic goal there as well. He is up for it at the moment. He's had the Kev haircut. I've had a semi-Lacio. He's clearly taken some of my footballing ability along with my hairstyle. And he's starting to live up to the Brazilian Wonder Kid billing a little bit now, which is very handy in light of what is on the horizon. Right. That'll do. Who's confused? Lacio's confused. Brilliant. So that's the end of his good run of form, because Ian Culverhouse has just confused him. I'm almost tempted to start doing my own team talks, but not that tempted, because I will get them wrong. I would have upset him a year ago. The fact it's taken Culverhouse this long, I can live with that. Right. We need to start thinking again in terms of preserving players, because we've got 2 big games after this one. Depending on how Everton get on tomorrow, I guess, in their game, we could still go to their place with knowing that beating them puts us above them. So that's a big game. Then obviously we've got Chelsea. So we need to be thinking about resting players, especially in midfield where we're picking up so many injuries. Thomas, again, he doesn't think quickly enough. I think that's the problem with Thomas. It's ever since I realised his name's Wilfred and not Willifred. I don't even know why I was saying Willifred. Too many L-shaped letters in there. That's what I'm going to call it. But yeah, ever since I realised what his real name was, he's just stopped scoring goals. So, Vaughan puts Thomas through again. I mean, we've had 5 clear-cut chances today. I would say at least 3 of them have fallen to Thomas. And he's just not scoring. This is a problem. If Full doesn't get fit, then what are we going to do in the cup final? We're playing against comfortably the best team in the country, with comfortably the 2 top strikers in the Premier League. Didn't need that. Oh, he plays for QPR now, does he? I don't even know how to say it. And I've watched him play on the telly as well. Iheanacho? He's the one at Man City in real life, isn't he? Iheanacho? Maybe. He scored anyway. His career obviously didn't pan out quite the way he expected if he's now turning out for QPR and only getting his 11th goal of the season. Oh, we nearly got him again now. He can hear me chuckling about him. And he's trying to spoil my fun. Oh, right, we do need to make some changes. Who are we going to bring off? Thomas is having a terrible game. In fact, let's bring Sanchez on for Thomas. We need to have a proper look at Sanchez. I might play Sanchez next week, just because I want to have a proper look at him so we can decide if we want to buy him. Why not bring on Pies again? We'll play him in normal midfield this time. For now, anyway. We might go to the diamond again in a minute. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'd like to see Sanchez bag himself a goal, please. I suppose now he's getting to the point where we should probably diamond it up. This is going to be our new go-to system when the game starts to get to this point. You can be a halfback like you were the other day, and you can just be on support. And I think that was all I did, wasn't it? And it seemed to work against Arsenal, so why won't it work against QPR? Probably because QPR aren't attacking in the way Arsenal were, and they're going to score from this corner, but I'm going to make a substitution anyway. We'll take off Johnny Vaughan, bring on David Martin, and that will be that for today. Oh, I thought we had a break on there. Oh, we don't need to be having them hit the crossbar. Pace with I think I've settled on Pace. It was a good clearance from him. Zabala in again. what a performance he's having as a centre-back today. I mean, I don't know what he has to do to get his rating up, because he is just intercepting everything that comes near him. He's going to, obviously the guy he's marking was always going to score. Oh, it's offside. There you go. They cheated. That's why Zabala, that's the only way to get past Carlos Zabala is to cheat. I mean, he's struggling for fitness though, isn't he? He's played a lot of games this season and it's starting to show. He'll be away at the World Cup or whatever it is in the summer as well, so he's not really going to get any rest. Right, job done today. We have done our bit. Hopefully Everton will go and lose tomorrow now, and we can go into a 6th place playoff next week. Let's go and do that now. Right, before we get into the Everton game, this was interesting. World Cup squads have been announced. We've got 7 players going to the World Cup, or in the provisional squads anyway. Or is that? No, that might even be final squads. So for England, we've got Modou Fall, Carl Walker-Peters and Ben Garrett. Martin Fritsch has been called up into the Germany squad. He's not played for Germany yet, but they've called him up. So he goes into a Germany squad that also includes someone else that we might be familiar with, Christian Arendt. He's also still not played for Germany. His value's dropped down to only £21 million, and that's largely off the back of only playing 8 games for Bayern Munich this season, although he's got 6 goals in those games. But he's found himself in the same situation he was in at Dortmund. He should never have left. Kind of glad he did, though, because his injuries have just continued at Bayern. He's just too injury prone. Definitely think we got the better part of that deal, bringing in Modou Fall instead for £500,000 cheaper as well. Carlos Zabala goes with Argentina. He's a regular for them, so that's to be expected. Lacio, though, has been called up into the Brazil squad. He is uncapped by Brazil, and he's going to be... I see him being a breakout star at the World Cup. He could go there and just tear it apart. So really good to see him going to the World Cup. And also Christian Pace, still don't know how to say his name. He's only 18, still never played for Uruguay, but I imagine off the back of his performance in the FA Cup semi-final, he is going to the World Cup as well with Uruguay. One other interesting point of note, looking at this England squad, if we can actually get to the England squad, where is it? It's there, isn't it? So if we just sort them by position, I'll give you a moment to see if you could... That isn't sorted by position at all. That's the wrong way round. I'll give you a moment to see if you spot any other familiar names on there. And while I give you a clue as to who the familiar name is, you may remember, and this player, more than anyone else we've mentioned so far, is probably deserved more credit for the success we've had in this save than anyone else. Because if you remember, back when I took over as Exeter manager, I was quite surprised to see there was a lot of money in the bank, and it was because they just 6 months before I became manager, they'd sold a player to Newcastle for £1.5 million. And then Newcastle bought out his sell-on from Exeter as well for another £1.5 million. And suddenly we had £3 million in the bank. I had £1 million to spend. We brought in Ben Tilney and Cameron Gale and various others. That man was Lewis Bradford. He's gone on to have quite a useful career. He's playing for Manchester City now. He's earning £150,000 a week. If we look at his career, it took him a little while to get into the Newcastle team, but when he did, he ended up going to Liverpool for £33 million. And then in the January transfer window this year, Man City paid £39.5 million for him. He's still not made his England debut at 25, but there's clearly lots of money being thrown around for this lad. Exeter are probably absolutely devastated that I took the £1.5 million to buy out his 20% sell-on clause for him to then go for 33 million. I'd be a bit upset if I was still at Exeter, but I left 5 years before this happened, and it got me on my way. Exeter, though, they're now mid-table League 2. I imagine they'd have quite liked £6 million to come in around about now, but what can you do? So that's that. It's quite nice to see him making it to the World Cup and obviously making a fairly good career for himself. Really surprised that such a good player came through a team like Exeter, and just very lucky that I was there around about the time it happened, and that allowed us to get promoted with Exeter, which is how I got the Ipswich job, and that's how we're here. So thank you, Lewis Bradford. This is a team we're playing against Everton. We've had 2 weeks pass since the last game. So Fall and Fritzer have both managed to get back to fitness. I've decided to go full-strength team to this game. Everton did win their game in hand on us against Liverpool, so we can't catch them. If we look at the Premier League table, actually, we'll just have a quick look at that. Spurs can still catch us, but we can't catch Everton. So we still need to go to Everton and at least get a draw to keep Spurs off our backs. They're away at Brighton, so they're pretty much guaranteed their 3 points. but a draw will get us 7th place. So we're going full strength. So that's Garrett in goal, Walker, Peters, Zabala, Dane and Lazaroff at the back. Cool, Fritzsche and Yusuf in midfield, and Vaughan, Lacio and Fall up front. So the only regular starter who's missing now really is Chris, who hopefully will be back in time for next season. So let's get into this game against Everton. Fritzsche and Fall are both struggling a little bit for fitness, and struggling a little bit for match fitness, definitely. It's been a little while since either of them have played. But, you know, need to get them in the side. I'm just excited that Lacio's going to the World Cup. I might have to check out some of these World Cup matches over the summer just to see how these lads get on. It's certainly 4 years ago when the last World Cup squads were announced, I don't think I had anyone go. So to go from that to 7 players this time round, again, it shows the progress we're making. This is all getting very exciting. That was just terrible goalkeeping again. Mr. Scapegoat in goal, not doing himself any favours there. But we managed to clear it away. Tottenham are winning, I think. Yeah, Tottenham are winning, so we're level on points with them at the moment. It's only our goal difference keeping them above us. So if Everton score here, we drop down to 8th place, which will be really disappointing after the season we've had. And Fritzsche has lost out there, and I'm going to put that down to his fitness. And Garrett's actually done quite well to keep out that Lukaku shot. Lukaku's still at Everton 11 years in. He must be old now. How old is he in real life? Might have a look and see how many goals he scored from now. He must be closing in on being their record scorer. Lacio has done brilliantly there. This is why I think... I was going to say this is why I think he can go and set the World Cup alight, but obviously not if his finishing's like that. Full with I thought that was one of our players with an injury there. With the FA Cup final a week away, if anyone gets a sniff of an injury, they're coming straight off. Again, Garrett with some quite decent goalkeeping there. So Lacio picks the ball up in midfield, out to Yusuf, who finds Lazaroff, who must be disappointed that he's not going to the World Cup. Bulgarian, I think he is. They obviously didn't make it there, but he's the sort of player he should be playing in the World Cup. It's a real shame for him that his country haven't made it there. And that's the end of that. Pause for breath. This is exciting stuff. Spurs are still winning. Lukaku's through but injured, so hopefully he's not going to go and score a hatful of goals for us. It also looks like Man United are now mathematically unable to get into a Champions League spot, so they're all but guaranteed to be sacking their manager shortly. The big problem is if they sack him straight after this game, and I then have to think, well, do I want to apply for a job somewhere else in the week leading up to the FA Cup final? I don't know that I do. I don't want to miss out on the Man United job because of it, but I certainly shouldn't be doing a Zabala and rocking the boat at a crucial time the way he likes to do. So that job might end up passing me by, unless they come in for me, of course, in which case I can just put them off for a week. But I haven't had anyone come in for me in the whole time I've been at Ipswich. But it was the Exeter days when I was being linked with jobs and having people offer me jobs. In 6 years at Ipswich, I've not been offered an interview yet. Ridiculous. We're 1-0 down, aren't we? This wasn't in the script. This isn't how it was supposed to happen. We're supposed to be going into the FA Cup final in fine form and full of confidence. We don't need this. Right. How are we doing for fitness? I mean, that's my main concern. So it's a bit worrying to see Fall is not... I mean, it happened when he first signed. It happened when he came back from his last injury as well. It takes him a game or two to get back into form. But then when he gets there, he's excellent. But if he's not having a good game today, is he going to have a good game next week when we really need him to? Because we don't want to have to be playing against the strike partnership Chelsea have got without our own world-class strike partnership firing on all cylinders to take him on. And whoever this Solomon guy is, that's his second goal. He has got incredible hair. I might go to the barbers and ask for a Kelechi Solomon. If you didn't know who Lacio was. Brazilian wonder kid. He's not going to know who Kelechi Solomon is he? That's a good header, though. I wonder how much... See, if that's come off his hair, should that haircut be legal? Because that's giving him an extra 4 or 5 inches, and he's just scored a header. I think there has to be doubt over the legality of that goal. Right, we're going to take Fall off because he's struggling, but we're going to bring Sanchez on because I'm bored with Thomas now. I think I might be done with him. He might become the new scapegoat if we bring a new goalkeeper in over the summer. What else can I do? I like David Martin. We'll bring him on for Vaughan. Vaughan missed out completely on the World Cup squads, which has got to be a disappointment for him, because when Walker Peters and Garrett are both going, if I was Johnny Vaughan in that dressing room, I'd be thinking, I'm a key player at Ipswich. You two are bit part contributors. Well, Walker Peters is probably a bit more than that, but he must look at Ben Garrett and just shake his head. How does he get to go to the World Cup and I don't? Where's the justice in the world? We will bring Thomas on now, and we'll do that. I mean, we're obviously not going to get back into this game. Luckily, it seems that Spurs have conceded a goal. They're drawing at the moment, so if it stays like this in the Spurs game, we will still get our 7th place finish, which would be nice. Lazio's just got one back. Ooh. Could we? We have made all our subs, haven't we? We've just brought Thomas on. Lazio's in excellent form at the moment. So it was a cross from Martin. I said I liked him, and a really good finish from Lazio. It would be lovely to grab an equaliser now and just not have to worry about what's happening in the Spurs game. I really want that 7th place finish. I think it will just be a nice little confidence boost going into next weekend. Right. That is not the way you go and get an equaliser, though, against one of the best teams in the Premier League. Oh, come on, let's win the ball back. Fritsch is still on, isn't he? Yeah, in fact, that's him chasing him down there. He should have been crunching into a tackle. I wonder how long until Pace is in the team permanently, because he seems to be having a meteoric rise, the young Uruguayan. I guess it comes down to if he has a good World Cup or not. Is that a hat-trick for Kelechi Solomon? If he scored with a header again, I am writing a letter to the FA. Okay, no, that one's just sort of hit him in the knee. Oh, no, and then it's gone again, and then he's... Okay, he is tall as well. How tall is he? Right, well, that's that then. We've lost our last league game of the season. It looks like Spurs are still drawing, though. So, fingers crossed it stays as it is in the Brighton-Spurs game. And we will still get the 7th place position that we wanted. Let's just double check that that's happened. Oh, they're all fired up and motivated. Ready for next weekend. This is good. There you go. We have secured a 7th place finish, which is excellent. I'm really happy with that. So I guess that's that for this season then. Nothing else to do, is there? I might resign now and go and apply for the Man United job. In fact, let's see if they've sacked him. Would they have sacked him straight away? So QPR have sacked their manager. Watford have sacked their manager. Man United have not yet sacked their manager. Good. Right, if you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on tomorrow's FA Cup final special. I am far too excited for this, but you know, it's been 11 seasons coming. We're actually playing in a proper final. I'm excited. Thank you very much for watching.